Sheesh. All right. I'll just figure that out later. I think the stream is starting now. Yeah, okay. So Bowblax released this video about how the creator clash is doing really bad. Oh my god. Even in terms of legality, it is really bad. And we're gonna look into that. I did see a bit of the Nicholas DeOrio one, but since he says like a lot of those buzzwords that YouTube doesn't like, I figured I might as well go the one with Bowblax. While I'm playing Mario 64 in the background.
When we were being threatened to be sued, they used the Bowblax video as like proof.
Which is why, even though if you come out and you make videos where you aren't necessarily alleging things, but everything that you're saying is like an implication, it still fucking has real world consequences.
Yeah,
fucking bullshit. Some lawyer's trying to use this.
We're trying to digest the idea that we like only sold 50K pay-per-views, and we looked at each other and we were like, "Do you want to just like
kill ourselves?"
Kill ourselves? Like literally, like there was like that actual thought. We
No,
did everything we could right.
I wouldn't even say that.
It makes me angry.
The accusations of us
really angry.
Stealing money makes me very angry.
Yeah. And I will say, like, this is one of these things where, like, I haven't come across a video that explicitly states that we or anyone involved has, like, stolen money or whatever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with the irresponsible type of like commentary videos and reporting, it's basically all implied to the audience, and there is no amount of journalistic
I like how he throws
to like take responsibility.
No shade and a little bit of shade at him.
I know.
Shit's like creepy and weird. Like, what? Am I in the right place?
I know.
How did this all go so wrong? And I thought, oh yeah, Ian got a girlfriend.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the most irresponsible and creepy coverage on YouTube. These clips came from a Patreon-only podcast that iDubbbz and Anisa recently did a couple weeks ago. I just became aware of it and got access to it recently, and oh my god, the stuff they say in there is wild. It's basically a 1 hour and 20-minute therapy session about the failure that was Creator Clash 2, with a surprising emphasis on my coverage being the source of a lot of their problems, calling it weird and creepy. I disagree, but at that point it's just he said, she said. So instead of just telling you that my coverage was fine, why not compile it all into this video and let you guys see for yourselves? Plus, it's been a while since this whole thing happened, so I'm sure a lot of you guys could use a refresher. But if you don't need one, you can skip to the last chapter of this video to get to the new stuff. But with all that being said, let's take a look at the collapse of Creator Clash.
Froggy Fresh! 2012.
So as many of you guys know, Froggy Fresh, the baddest of them all, is most known for his comedic viral YouTube.
I actually was planning to go to Creator Clash, but after like the Froggy Fresh situation, and I do know that what he did was kind of irresponsible in a way. I know that's a hot take, but I'm playing kind of like devil's advocate. I definitely do understand, but I think with how they didn't even let Froggy know it was a problem until after is what's the issue, really.
Songs that he's made over the past decade, and recently he was announced to be a fighter against Chris Raygun in an influencer charity boxing event hosted by iDubbbz and his wife Anisa, that being Creator Clash 2. But recently they kicked him off of the event due to this Twitter video he made trying to promote the event titled...
So yeah, this is like how long is this? Like 3 hours? Almost 4, so we're gonna watch a bit of this.
Yo, man. Amphetamines couldn't save Hitler, and they can't save you either. On April 15th, if I don't hurt you beyond what anybody could have imagined, I will be so disappointed in myself that I will subscribe to Anisa's OnlyFans.
So due to him joking about subscribing to the creator of the event's OnlyFans as a punishment for losing the fight, some other fighters in the event got pretty upset at this.
I'm sorry.
Mika, who replied, "This is actually gross, Tyler," to which Froggy Fresh responds, "I'm just out here grinding for charities, all of them." So because of that Twitter video he made, as well as
yeah, it's kind of like a
nemesis Sam Hyde, this was enough for Anisa
like a bit of a dad joke, but
she's
still.
the reason he's on the card, as well as calling him an imp and hoping he gets replaced. Froggy quote tweets her and
But
says,
yeah,
"Better
when
imp than a pimp."
Anisa's mom joined in, I kind of lost
Hit me up to beat up your daughter's
sympathy for them because it was over
This is
then.
supposed to be a friendly fight for charity, Tyler. Why do you have to do this shit? Froggy Fresh responds, "For real. That's what I'm saying. Someone come get her mama." He then makes a Twitter video with the caption, "This is for charity."
What's up, you guys? It's your boy Froggy Fresh. I going onto my Twitter today. What don't I see? Anissa's mom is saying, hoping that somebody replaces that imp. Now I go onto Google to see what imp was, and they said it's a small devil. Now, I got saved by the Lord in baptized when I was about 7, so I don't know what she's talking about. But I can tell you this is a charity event. So if Vanessa's mom is going to be coming up in here, talking garbage about me when she don't know a darn thing about me, I don't appreciate it. We're trying to raise money for charity. If someone can come get her, take her home, give her a coat, and take her home. Because I'm just trying to raise money. Thank you.
Sam Hyde responds to the video by saying, Anisa's mom is telling him to pull Froggy Fresh from the fight because he worked out with me for a week. Insane! Hashtag nasty women. Froggy Fresh responds, this is for charity. He then makes another Twitter video titled, this is for charity, ma'am.
Guess what, Internet? I got even more news for you. Something I didn't say about last night.
Yeah, like, I think the thing with... Because iDubbbz did say afterwards that the reason why he kicked out Froggy because he was working with Sam Hyde and he was not allowed to. But I still don't know how they allow that other guy. I forgot what his name was. He was in the food channel. What was it called? I forgot what it was called, but the issue was that he tried to say, oh, you were working with Sam Hyde, but this guy was also working with Sam Hyde. Although I think it became an issue once he mentioned like the OnlyFans thing. But after that, it was just, ugh. It could have been handled so much better, honestly.
She tweeted, classic case of brain damage. Better have that looked at, along with your obviously shrunken balls. First off, when I did hit my head on them monkey bars, yeah, I did get hurt a little bit. But when I got the scan done, they said I was still smart. Second off, as far as the second thing that you said about my privates, you have got to clean up your language. That is not good to be talking like that.
So because of all of this back and forth, iDubbbz and Anisa
what
Froggy Fresh 3 weeks out from his fight. They announced it on the Creator Clash Twitter by saying,
what is Anisa's mom doing, bro? Like, holy crap.
We will announce his replacement in the coming days. With just 3 weeks left, the countdown to Creator Clash 2 has begun. Creator Clash's goal is to make an inclusive and fun environment for creators and fans while giving back to charity. That has always been our mission, and Froggy Fresh's recent behavior does not align with that mission. We look forward to sharing this positive experience on April 15th. And as you can see by the view, quote tweet to like ratio, people were not happy with this announcement. Froggy Fresh quote tweets and says, damn, comments off? Peter Plant responds, why are you no longer fighting? Was looking forward to seeing you in the ring. Froggy Fresh responds, ask them. Samuel says, he can't keep getting away with this! Frosty says, events ruined, showing someone taking out the trash. Keemstar says, this is so disgusting. I can't believe Creator Clash would ban Froggy Fresh just because he made a joke about iDubbbz's wife. And they turned the replies off. Hashtag free Froggy Fresh. We stand with Froggy. Someone near Gamer says, man, this is just sad to see. Wavy Websurf says, this is outrageous. Willie Macshow says, is this real? Absurd. Literally YouTube's greatest legend gone because he trolled on Twitter. How are we gonna ban the baddest of them all for trolling?
Yeah, that's the thing, like, with
this is the most pathetic shit I've ever seen, man. Laughing my
boxing, MMA in general, they always have like trash talk.
He went into this with pure intention.
I think in that case it would be fair, and since they're like really insecure about that.
Fuck, honestly. Augie RC says, fuck off. iDubbbz has reached a new low with this one. Holy shit. The real reason Anisa and iDubbbz canceled Froggy Fresh's fight is because he started training with Sam Hyde. They are using the fans joke.
They literally revealed that afterwards, but
if you were not refunding your Creator Clash ticket / pay-per-view, I don't know what you were.
It was specifically after he made the jokes, which was like the last straw for iDubbbz. But it just shows like with the new video, I saw a bit of it, and what happened in the past. It just really shows that iDubbbz does have that insecurity, unfortunately.
Laughing my fucking ass off. Ian and Anisa obviously don't respect you as a customer or as a fan. They've made that super clear, lol. The only boxing.
God, man, this was a wild time.
What the fuck? Sam Hyde says, "Can you believe this?" And then he shows that he got blocked by Anisa, iDubbbz, and Hassan, and says, "I own you, bitches." Turkey Tom says, "Making fun of Anisa's mom after she shit talks you on Twitter is now illegal." Then he shows that he got blocked by Anisa. Emp Lemon says, "Ian has turned into such an unimaginable prude. This is so fucking pathetic and petty and sad. How about just cut to the chase and ban anyone who has ever breathed the same air molecules as Sam Hyde? Why don't you? This is so lame. I might."
It's like so hard to look at iDubbbz.
His ass off for this event.
Different. He wants to kind of have this more grandstanding approach, but
did he drop out of his own volition, or was he canceled?
I still can't see it. I just see him as that edgy guy just saying slurs and whatnot.
I don't think this was necessary at all. Let the man fight. Tier Z responds, ah lol, it's Anisa's event. Bonehead moved to talk crap about the person organizing the whole thing, especially with so many people itching to fight. Donovan says, I was born with a rare genetic disease that slowly eats away at all my muscles, eventually leaving me a shell of what I could have been. And yet Ian is still somehow more fragile than I could ever be. Leon Lush says, laughing my ass off, catastrophic L. Brendan Buckingham Cunningham says, Anisa and her mom are the ones who should be removed from Creator Clash. Cavo says, this is so fucking stupid. They better put Froggy Fresh back on the card. Ian really is just the shell of who he used to be, and has become pretty unbearable these days. He also tweets out, laughing my ass off, the Creator Clash versus Froggy Fresh drama summed up, showing a puppet that's iDubbbz's girlfriend's mom, controlling another puppet that's iDubbbz's girlfriend, controlling another puppet that's iDubbbz.
That is insanity.
Image with a quote from iDubbbz's video that says, I'm totally fine with dudes joking about and jacking off to Anisa's OnlyFans. Then Froggy Fresh saying, if I lose my boxing fight, I will subscribe to Anisa's OnlyFans. And then Creator Clash tweeting out that Froggy Fresh is part of the event. Pimpmaster Broda tweets out, iDubbbz 2016. Either all of it's okay or none of it is. I
don't get it, because iDubbbz was saying, you know, I'm not insecure. Like, I'm not your dad. If you guys were looking up to me, then don't. I don't care if dudes are kind of like doing it while watching my wife's OnlyFans. It just shows there's like a lot of insecurity there. I'm sorry.
It's either actually let me ask my wife first before I talk.
You could say
shows that he just got blocked by
and be in denial, but it just his actions just show different.
Commentator Charlie tweets out, I'm really disappointed by this. Kicking him for Twitter controversy after months of training is brutal. I don't think any jokes he made were intended to be mean-spirited or shit on anyone. Hopefully they reconsider this decision. Pete Gunter responds by saying, Charlie, if Sam Hyde was involved, you can guarantee it was mean-spirited. Use some perspective and consider a person who harasses these people's communities constantly, and maybe you wouldn't want someone emulating that behavior in your event. Jay LeRae, who is fighting in Creator Clash, approved of this reply. Embleman says, Ian's joining Sneeko in the ratioed by Critical Club for the month. Never thought I'd see the day. And if you want to know what he's referring to, I have a video about Sneeko on my channel that you can check out after this. But moving on, Chris
God, bro, I want Sneeko to be forgotten. And I'm going to Miami tomorrow. I hope you guys don't run into him.
But I think you're supposed to trash talk your opponent, not the organizers of the event. Nathan Barnett, who plays the character of Dad, who was in the previous Creator Clash and the upcoming one, tweets out, ignore internet slime lord. Anisa is amazing and cares about people. She calls fighters just to talk and ask how we are doing. Ian and Anisa are trying to put on a fun event. No one has time or cares for drama.
Wait, is this Dad? Wasn't Dad beefing with Ethan?
Nathan, I love everything about you.
Ethan was like kind of making fun of his late girlfriend. Like, Ethan, come on, dude.
I'm not contacting anyone, but this is boxing, not ballet. And what he's referring to is Epic Mealtime, one of the fighters for this event and the previous event, was trained by Sam Hyde in Creator Clash 1, yet still ended up participating in the first event and was able to participate in this upcoming event. Nathan responds by saying, Sam is nothing like me, to which Nocturnius responds, yeah he is. He will not break character for anything. Nathan responds, my characters aren't hateful, and don't say random insults. And my characters aren't myself as my own name. Anisa privates her Twitter and says, time for a drink, or 5. Later on in the night, Keemstar hosted a Twitter space with a bunch of creators joining in, one of which being Gideon, who said he would donate 100k to Creator Clash charity if Froggy Fresh gets put back on the card. Gideon confirmed
it was never really about the charity, to be honest. It was more about their ego. You could definitely see it through the blurred lines.
When he tweets out, Froggy Fresh just said his ideal charity to donate to would be anyone that benefits kids with cancer. He was asked where people should donate their money to in case they were planning on canceling their ticket or pay-per-view buy. Froggy found out 5 minutes before the public tweet that he was being dropped. This was 3 weeks before the event date. He spent money out of his own pocket along with the monthly training stuff supplied by Creator Clash. Froggy Fresh then tweets out himself encouraging people to donate to charity when he says,
and seeing this in real time, and the fact that I was planning to go to Tampa, I think it's in Tampa, to see this, because I was actually excited. I'm like, okay, maybe it'll actually be something good. That was just my impression on it.
As I was intending to go to this event, but have since decided against it due to what has happened. Froggy Fresh also tweets out, we know at minimum 100k donated straight to the charities of Creator Clash is on the line if I'm reinstated to the fight in Creator Clash. I am more than willing to fight. Let's see how much they truly care about charity. What's up, Invaders? Then responds, the money anyway.
I wish they did care about the charity, but it was never about that in the first place.
Froggy Fresh then responds, Gideon said he would. I don't have 100k to put up. He then posts this song he made to Twitter titled Creator Clash 2.
Oh yeah, he had like this more like soulful song.
And what came up on my iPhone screen was the thing that I ever seen. I really couldn't believe it. Was the picture really real? My knees got weak and my arms got heavy. I almost picked up my meal. I showed my phone to my wife, and I seen her eyes get sad. And that was when I knew this whole dang thing was gonna be bad. So now I'll show you the photo I was sent. Anissa's mom is mad, so now I'm kicked off the event. Give the people their money's worth, and give them what they want. Give it all to charity for all the tickets that they bought. Cause we're both trying to find a way, we're both trying to be a man. But there's plenty of people around the world, and we ain't the only fans, oh no, no.
Man, the fact this man made a whole song about it is insanity. Like, I know I'm not one to talk, I make songs about so many things. It's still funny to me though.
Guess they don't like money, and don't like nothing at all. Anissa's mom called me an imp, just because I'm small. Well, guess what, Anissa's mom, you just messed this whole thing up. Cause this was all for
One of Anissa's mom.
You ain't got no love. Give the people their money's worth, and give them what they want. And give it all to charity for all the tickets that they bought. Cause we're both trying to find a way, we're both trying to be a No, no, no.
This is insane.
And I work so hard. Yeah, I work so hard, but we all did. Yeah, we did it for the gamers and the small kids who were out here catching losses. And I came so far. Yeah, I came so far, but we all did. And it got messed up over some small shit. Couldn't never imagine all this. The show goes on, that's fine with me. Yeah, whatever puts puss in them seats. Yeah, whatever puts cash in them chairs. Yeah, whatever puts smiles on them cheeks. Keep rolling on, that's fine with me. Yeah.
Them just proves their point. Froggy responds, it shows me their mission statement is BS to make them not like the other events. So in response to this 100k offer, Creator Clash finally made another statement to help clarify their decision. At least that's what they claim. I don't really think it clarifies anything, but I'll just read it out and you guys can decide for yourselves. They say, as you may be aware, we recently announced Froggy Fresh would be leaving the Creator Clash 2 ticket. We want to provide some additional information around the rationale for this decision. To help clarify some of the online chatter, we have a legally binding code of conduct that each of our Creator Clash 2 fighters are held to, the violation of which is grounds for termination. Unfortunately, there were several violations made by Froggy Fresh during his tenure with Creator Clash this year. The Creator Clash 2 team, inclusive of the production company, takes violations seriously and made several unsuccessful attempts to address them directly with Froggy Fresh in hopes we could work together to get things back on track. When it became clear that the exhibited behavior wasn't stopping, at risk to the other fighters, fans, and others involved in the event, the Creator Clash 2 team made the collective decision to move forward without Froggy Fresh on the ticket. Our number one priority is ensuring Creator Clash 2 is a positive, safe, welcoming space for everyone. We look forward to kicking off an amazing event and raising a lot of money for charity. Creator Clash and iDubbbz have already donated 50k for each of Froggy Fresh's supported charities, Kids Cancer Foundation and Nick Claus Children's Hospital, for a total of 100k. They will also remain beneficiaries of money raised through the event itself. The fighters have all been working so hard and can't wait to get into the ring. Let's focus on their fights, not any.
Yeah, the thing with like Bowblax videos is it's basically like a documentary of what happens in Twitter, and that when people try to try to rewrite history, but it's all there. That's like the thing with it.
Build responds, hurt feelings and a superiority complex. Kino Corner says, cope harder. Wavy Webster says, what exactly was the conduct Froggy was banned for? Dame Peso says, are you saying Froggy Fresh put people at risk? That's 100% a lie. Akura the Dawn says, if there's one thing I like, it's a positive, safe, welcoming space for everyone. Showing a picture of iDubbbz.
Oh, these two actually met up afterwards. It was insanity, man.
Michael responds, if anything, it made it more cringy, laughing my ass off.
At the awards show, and Tana was pretty drunk.
Arthur says,
it was insane.
Will you also please remove this fighter from the card as well? I believe he also violated your rules. Showing tweets from iDubbbz in 2013 and 2015, where he says he'll rape you and all your starving black children, as well as calling people N-words.
What the heck?
Reacts to the statement by saying, insanely bad explanation on
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Super vague and reads like fake PR bullshit. Hashtag free Froggy Fresh. Keemstar says, we want to provide some additional information. Proceeds to provide no additional information. Hashtag free Froggy Fresh. Willie Macshow says, all those words and you still can't say what the violation specifically was that made the event unsafe. Optimus says, iDubbbz and his girlfriend doubled down on kicking Froggy Fresh off the roster of fighters at Creator Clash 2. Extremely disappointing. I think everyone and their mom knew what the right thing to do was. What exactly were these violations, by the way? Pretty idiotic response, laughing my ass off. Sam Hyde says, this actually puts the matter to bed for me, personally. Handled with taste and not in a vague corporate way at all. Glad I can move on and actually enjoy these star-studded fighters, featuring, looks at notes confusingly, Jack Manifold and Albina Sabrina. Sam then makes another quote tweet that says, this is such an insanely bad read. It would have been 100 times better to just ignore it and not even mention it. It's time to take the absinthe away from drunk Aniza. Brandon Buckingham says, several violations? You mean making a lighthearted joke about iDubbbz's wife's OnlyFans? Even your last event was sponsored by Fansly. Aniza's sensitivity about her OnlyFans shouldn't get in the way of a charity event. Free Froggy Fresh. Kuzi Costanza says, watching everyone shit on iDubbbz and his defense force is pretty cathartic. Doomer Coomer says, I'm convinced iDubbbz has a humiliation fetish at this point. Narwitz says, the awful people who made bad moves.
There's something in there. Yeah, there's like definitely something in there that he just does not want to. Oh man, Death Crips actually passed away. That's sad. Oh my god. It was funny.
So they are intentionally being vague on purpose, just like how many sites' terms of service are about what's allowed. Turkey Tom says cope, and then follows it up by saying, if iDubbbz sues Froggy Fresh, he loses whatever remaining goodwill he had with anyone.
Bro, freaking Tom Dark is crazy, bro.
They specifically mentioned that Froggy Fresh broke a legally binding code of conduct, which I guess they could sue him for. Ryan Beard quote tweets Creator Clash and says, this seems totally reasonable. If you repeatedly break the code of conduct in your contract and are given multiple warnings that you ignore,
oh man, this guy. Man, this guy said something crazy about being about like fat phobia. He said something insane. I can't even say the word. But he says people that make fun of fat people are like extremists or something like that. That's like a lighter way to put that in. As someone that's, you know, on the plus size, like, hell no, bro. Like, nobody wants to be plus sized. The only ones that do are the delusional ones that have been gaslit. Like, hell no. Hell no. Like, when I've been my most active, I feel like my most best. I could say that. I don't get some of these people, bro. Like that Ryan guy is funny. Ryan Beard.
Statement from Creator Clash and says, finally, some transparency. This statement reads, I'm still insecure about my OnlyFans, Anisa Jomha. Froggy Fresh responds to the tweet by saying, who tried to reach out to me several times, and what are the several violations? Josh responds, they did say they were unsuccessful attempts. It's all lawyer talk. Froggy Fresh responds, yeah, that's not gonna hold up, lol. Red Velvet Necktie responds to Creator Clash by saying, they still aren't saying what they did? To which Froggy Fresh responds, never told me what I did either. Froggy Fresh then quote tweets Creator Clash and says, are you talking about when Ian called me the third time ever, 15 minutes after Sam Hyde retweeted me, to investigate my relationship with Sam Hyde, and then asking that I don't release any content with Sam Hyde until after the event? Haven't released any Sam Hyde content, still kicked?
Yeah, that's what he ended up saying.
Every time he reached out to me, and me asking that we keep everything in text and email so I can have evidence of everything that was communicated. Never received any text or emails after that. Now I've been threatened with a potential lawsuit if I spoke about this entire mess, and demanding the 15K I used for training, equipment, travel, etc. over the last 5 months. Unbelievable. Is this for charity, or what's going on? After these tweets, Keemstar hosted another Twitter space talking about the situation. I'll link an archive to it in the description below for anybody who's interested in listening to it.
Oh god, these Twitter spaces are insane, bro.
Froggy Fresh's legal fees if Creator Clash sued Froggy Fresh. Mudahar quote tweets Keemstar and says, threatening litigation like this kind of worries me, but I hate it when smaller creators have to face any legal crap. It ruins lives. I'm down to cover it all. No need for GoFundMes. I just want this to be resolved. I want a successful event at the end of the day. Froggy Fresh then tweets out, I appreciate everyone's support. Can't lie. This is a stressful situation. I have a family, wife, 2 young kids, mortgage. The threat of being pursed legally unless I remain quiet and let them tarnish my reputation to where no one else would want to work with me for misconduct is rough. I appreciate the donation to the charities I submitted and continuing to keep donations coming into them. I don't want Creator Clash 2 to fail. I would rather we just walk away amicably, where I'm not threatened. In all sincerity, I hope they raise as much money as possible. YTB News responds by saying, we disagree on the situation, but in no way support legal action. I think there could be a simpler solution. I hope this can all end well without lawyers.
Yeah.
Froggy Fresh responds,
I feel they could have solved this, but with their ego, it was not possible to happen.
Around this, but actually another fighter in the event, Harley of Epic Mealtime, made hundreds of tweets trying to defend Creator Clash for removing Froggy Fresh after Keemstar made this poll with the caption, has Creator Clash been ruined because of them kicking Froggy Fresh? With one of the options being no, it's still gonna be lit, and the other being yes, it's game over. With the game over option being in the lead by a good 30+%. Harley quote tweets Keem and says, I can't sign a contract and then post it, but I did look up a boilerplate contract for a boxing event. There is an extremely similar clause. Let me know if you guys need help understanding how there was a breach. I don't represent Creator Clash. I just want Keem to shut the fuck up, lol. He then shows the boilerplate contract which reads out, fighter agrees represents in war.
Yeah, this guy, Harley Morenstein, he was the pro iDubbbz. It was interesting.
Or do anything that could degrade themselves, the broadcasters, the site, event sponsors, the event, or subject any of them to public hatred, contempt, scorn, ridicule, or disrepute, shock or offend their patrons or employees, prejudice their standing in the community, or subject them to liability. A breach of this provision shall entitle the event to terminate its obligations under this agreement. Robin Suda responds, I'm sorry, but all this controversy stems from dropping him 3 weeks out, not from an OnlyFans joke at the expense of Anisa. If they would have ignored the joke or even played into it, I really don't think they would be in this position. Harley responds, I don't know everything behind the scene. I don't know all their convo. I just know Froggy ignored a text from them because he stated yesterday in the circle that he did, so it's not my call. I'm just showing they have the right. Dawn responds to Harley's tweet by saying, this is blanket and vague statement that basically amounts to, we can do whatever we want. It serves your purpose, which is to shut people up who don't know better, but it would never hold up in court if they seriously sued Froggy for it. Harley responds, clearly you never read a contract. They are almost all like that on purpose. Durka Soup responds to Harley's tweet by saying, just don't feed into Keem. He's a cockroach who never dies. However, all this shitty lawyer stuff is BS. You yourself
oh my god, I'm sorry, but they're not wrong though.
Way more degrading than anything Froggy said. Cam Knott responds by saying, exactly. Come on, Harley. What you said was gross and made me and probably a lot of people uncomfortable. Harley responds, it was at my opponent during a press conference, not at the owners on social media. Speaking of that moment from the previous Creator Clash press conference, Cam Knott replies to Harley's tweet by showing a clip of it and saying, pretty degrading, bro. Where's the line?
We got unboxing Aaron from Game Grumps. They don't know. Because the people that watch Game Grumps, they're not out there being real people. They're not real people. They're weird fucking mutant people, and I'm not just saying it like I'm making it up. My Twitter timeline is still the people like, Aaron's gonna fuck you up. And then I look at them, their display pic. It's like muscular Shrek sucking his own dick. I swear.
Oh my god, I can't leave this place.
I'll nut in my own belly button multiple times a week, sip it out with a straw, so I'm not gonna king shame. But when you bring dogs into it, that's when it gets weird. And I'll look at these people and I'm like, wait. I'll click on their media on Twitter. They draw like humanoid dogs fucking each other. Those are the people that watch Game Grumps. So I like Aaron, but tomorrow I'm going.
Humanoid dogs? Is he talking about furries?
It's your fault. So tomorrow, Aaron, I'm gonna fuck you till you love me, friend.
Harley quote tweets this and says, that's my opponent, not the owner. It's also AR the press conference, and it's 1 day out. They couldn't remove me if they wanted. It wasn't at the owner on social media, lol. I bet if Froggy said things at the press conference, he'd still be fighting at Creator Clash 2. Zumass responds to Harley's tweet by saying, this is a terrible take, and that is a dumb reason to kick someone. You should know that. Harley responds, it's not a take, laughing my ass off, it's a contract. I showed a legally binding agreement, not my opinion. Zumass responds, contract dumb, to which Harley responds, yeah, contract dumb. Twitter's stupid. Good talk. 8030 quote tweets Harley and says, how did Froggy violate the contract? Harley responds, seriously? Lol. I thought it was straightforward. In my opinion, not do or commit any act or do do anything that could degrade themselves, the broadcasters, the site, event sponsors, the event, or subject any of them to public hatred, contempt, scorn, ridicule, or disrepute. 8030 responds, so Froggy joking about subscribing to Anisa's OnlyFans is degrading to the event? Brandon Buckingham quote tweets Harley and says, if Froggy Fresh saying he will subscribe to Anisa's OnlyFans is degrading to the event, wouldn't Anisa having an OnlyFans in the first place be far more degrading? Froggy brought zero public hatred, contempt, scorn, ridicule, or disrepute to Creator Clash. Banning him did. Harley responds, that's your opinion. I'm just sharing how they have the right to do what they want. We also don't know everything. We just know that with the wording of this contract, they have the right. To be honest, I don't think I would work.
Man, this could have been resolved so much better. Like the fact it was dragged on like this. Jesus. Ego is definitely
being a touchy subject shouldn't impede that. Harley responds, I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, Creator Clash is exactly what the owners of the event decided is. It's their call. It's up to them, and I find it interesting that I'm the only person who understands that the owner stood up for his wife. Froggy Fresh responds to Harley's first response to Brandon Buckingham when he says, then why was PewDiePie invited as a creator guest? Why invite someone to your event who made a video also lightly joking about the OnlyFans to a way larger audience? Harley responds, being invited to the event is not the same as being contracted by the event. Super different. Froggy Fresh quote tweets Harley and says, so they invite one of the biggest YouTubers of all time, PewDiePie, who has publicly commented on and lightly poked fun at Anisa's OnlyFans, but they kick their fighter who has trained for 5+ months out of the event for the same crime. Seems hypocritical. Actually, I don't know if that's why they kicked me. They never told me what exactly I said or did. Harley responds, being a guest is different than being under contract. Not only that, but if you want to shit talk a McMahon, you better be the Hulkster. Froggy quote tweets him and says, which McMahon is Anisa? Showing that Vince McMahon agreed to pay $12 million in hush money to 4 women. Dick Masterson quote tweets Harley's original tweet and says, you guys are comedians putting on a clown show. You are not professional boxers with a boilerplate contract. How do you not understand that? You think boxing leagues are run by a fat cam girl? Harley responds, comedians is doing a lot in that sentence. But anyways, yeah, we get contracts, Dick. The event is taking place where the Tampa Bay Lightning play. Do you think there wouldn't be paperwork in place? Crazy. Dick Masterson responds, they should add, holders refuse to blame any cuck and his fat wife for petty and abusive behavior to the ticket. Megan responds to Harley's response
skip it a bit.
Saying, I am really loving your passion today, and you were right.
On the card? Doesn't that make the most sense?
To loosely be involved with Creator Clash, they say, I'm going to repost a stupidly long comment I dropped in another thread on the topic.
God, I'm not reading all that. I don't know.
He asked Justin Tracy to communicate through text or email. He did not. Snowman in off response by saying, and yet elsewhere you said they didn't try to reach you at all? Or the announcer, or security. To be in April at Creator Clash. He's actually talking about this tweet that Keemstar made shortly before. Not fall into your strawman argument of shaming sex workers. Obviously referencing the fact that in the Brandon Buckingham video that iDubbbz cited for his video, Implement also gave his opinion on Froggy Fresh being banned, but wasn't included in the iDubbbz video like Justy Cage, Turkey Tom, and Brandon Buckingham were. Death Crips responds by saying, sorry, you were not part of the Cool Kids Club, showing a picture with a sign that says, He-Man Woman Haters Club. Death Crips then makes a tweet of his own that says, excited for everyone to finally see my collaboration with iDubbbz.
A lot of it's not explicitly said, but when you listen to the jokes, it's like, oh, that's actually just your opinion phrased in a comedic
There I am, Harry, there I am!
Death Crips makes another funny Twitter video with the caption, addressing the elephant in the room.
Hey guys, I wanted to address some things that have been brought to my attention, and I wanted to start off by saying, everybody knows as of lately that my girlfriend has an OnlyFans. Yes, it's true. And I know that people have been on record making a lot of disrespectful jokes about it. So, I just want to come out there and say, doesn't bother me. It is absolutely fine. I don't care. I get it, you know, you all thought of me one way, but in all reality, I'm not like that. I know that I put that image out there, and that's what made me popular, and that's what I did it for, but, yeah, no, not who I am, and don't be surprised, okay? Make all the jokes you want, doesn't bother me, get over it, okay?
I think I'm gonna skip to the
fact that I kicked somebody out of an event that I was hosting.
He's doing the charity stream is because he wants to get money to charity. Azzy McGee responds to Harley by saying, I don't know, supposedly some of you guys are getting paid, and not even training much. Harley responds, nobody got paid behind the training cost, which was upfront from the beginning. A lot of fighters spent that almost right away on training, equipment, nutrition, coaches, and ring walk. Nicholas DeOrio responds to Harley by saying, Creator Clash 2 actually sent a grand total of $0 to charity directly. Hope this helps. Lamps responds, dog, you even donate to charity? Lol. Harley responds, actually, in this case, I can confirm, haha, he does. He made a nice donation before Creator Clash. He then quote tweets Nicholas and says, you were told a couple of hours ago, right here on Twitter, that he raised at least 100k today. Then you retweeted that tweet. So you are aware he raised 100k hours ago, plus the initial 100k they donated before the Creator Clash 2. That's 200k plus. Hit me up if you were confused about anything else. Nicholas then ratios Harley when he says, how does Ian doing a charity stream yesterday or sending a personal donation beforehand mean Creator Clash 2 made 100 to 200k? This guy is such a dick-riding clown. You guys acted like pricks and hid behind the it's for charity excuse for ages. Lol. Turns out it wasn't for charity, laughing my ass off. People are gonna make fun of you, dog, and it's totally justified. Harley responds, the donations were on behalf of Creator Clash 2, but I'll use your narrative. Either way, you recognize that Ian, either through his actions with Creator Clash 2 or on his own, he made good on the fact that his event underperformed. He brought 250k to charity. You talked yourself into a corner, lol. Nick responds, my statement isn't a narrative, it's reality. I think Ian doing this 24-hour charity stream is great. I've made that clear. It's not revenue that came from Creator Clash 2.
Oh yeah, I remember he did that stream. It was insane.
Feel the same way you do. Harley never ended up responding to this, but he does continue reacting to a couple other people, one of which being Renaissance Crusade, who asked Harley why he feels the need to defend iDubbbz in every post. He responds by saying, I don't think he should face such an uphill battle to do right. Him not wanting to say racist words and raise money for charity is good. So when thousands of goofballs are discouraging him for it, I want to make it clear that there are people out there that
Brody,
for it. Responds, but he didn't raise
do you not know his past? It's kind of hard to forget what he was saying and doing.
Should be more. Should be 10 times more. Keemstar then continues tweeting about Creator Clash when he posted this video and says, "Remember when Racegum requested Keemstar should organize Creator Clash and iDubbbz said no way?"
Though he did want Keemstar.
Man, this was this video was insane when he called out like Ricegum. It was like, Ricegum, I know you're hiding, and this was like after the content copy. It was like, Ricegum, like I want to fight you. I think that was his like original plan to kind of have Ricegum on and milk that content, but since Ricegum ended up just retiring afterwards, he was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Man, that was like the biggest flop for iDubbbz afterwards. Like, I saw his confidence in that persona kind of start dwindling afterwards.
So naturally, I took on all the responsibility of organizing this event because I'm not gonna have Keemstar do that.
God damn.
Keemstar continues tweeting when he says, "Dear iDubbbz, after blocking me, you still comment on all my tweets. So now you see this. Sam Hyde has honestly no troll offered his help to you during this time. I will also help you. The people you see as enemies are not your enemies. The true enemy is, I'll leave her out of it. Good luck." Keemstar then shows a tweet from jomha where she says, "Ian got
Bro, everybody's just like throwing jabs at his wife.
Even in Make-Believe Ian can't seem to win." Keemstar comments on this by saying, "She goes out of her way to humiliate her husband every day." Leafy responds by saying, "This all happened because of the Ricegum diss track."
Oh yeah, that guy got banned. Leafy, man.
iDubbbz shit himself.
Holy crap. Honestly, I kind of wish Leafy did get help from his addiction and like mental degradation, I would say. Like a nicer way to say it. Because it did not do him good, and like the fact that he just turned into this bitter troll. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I wish people could just like better themselves. And I don't think Leafy ever did, unfortunately.
Life imaginable.
If you can. I just want to ask him if you've always been shitting your pants.
Oh yeah, when she kind of made the joke about his IBS.
You've always been shitting yourself.
Yeah, well.
Leafy responds by saying, "Disagree. Based." Keep going. And then I have one more set of tweets to share with you. I didn't know where to place this in the
Tommy
video, so I'm
C.
just gonna put it at the end. But Tommy C tweets out some DMs that him and Harley had in March of 2023, where he tells him that the pay-per-view buys and ticket sales are already bigger for Creator Clash 1 than Creator Clash 2, and he captions it by saying, "Shocking. Harley Plays was lying to me. Lol." Harley responds, "I lied to you in private because I don't respect you. I didn't know the 50k pay-per-view buys until today. This is a funny response. If you don't find it funny, you read it wrong." And that was about it for the discussion surrounding Creator Clash 2 for the next 9 months, until this topic was brought up again by Aniza and iDubbbz on their Patreon podcast, The Bog, where they talked more about Froggy Fresh, and once again talked about my video, which you guys have already watched as part of this compilation. Anyways, here is what they said.
When we were being threatened to be sued, they actually said, the lawyer said that they didn't believe us, that we lost money on the second year.
Yeah.
And they wanted us to like show our like back end basically, and show them that we lost money. They like said that they used the fucking Bowblax video as like proof.
Yeah, which is why even though if you come out and you make videos where you aren't necessarily alleging things, but everything that you're saying is like an implication, it fucking has real world consequences, and it's fucking bullshit.
Crazy.
Some lawyer's trying to use this as
an argument. But we're sitting there waiting for the doctor to come in to stitch Ian's eye up, and we're trying to digest the idea that we like only sold 50k pay-per-views, and we looked at each other and we were like, "Do you want to just like fucking
kill ourselves?"
No.
Like there was like that actual thought.
It was just like, what the fuck?
Like, what
are we?
do?
Yeah, what are we supposed to do? This is
like,
not.
I have never felt so horrendous.
Yeah.
Like, we're having this conversation while we're waiting for the fucking doctor to come in and stitch your eye up.
Yeah,
Over like a YouTube event, there's like no way, man. Like, come on.
Like, I felt like we provided a fantastic product, and you sacrificed your body.
I think
you like we really.
The irony of this, where Anisa's like that Ian sacrificed his body. When they were out like on the H3 podcast, like Ethan of all people was telling iDubbbz like, "Bro, like I'm telling you as a friend, but I think this isn't really meant for you. I think you should just be like managing the things behind the scenes. Like I don't want to see you get brain damaged or any kind of more internal damage, I would say." And then Anisa was like, "No, he's gonna be okay. He can still fight." And even Ethan's fans, which they're a bunch of rabid people, they're insane and rabid. They had common sense that Anisa was in the wrong in that situation. I was mind blown because they would defend them all the time, but they're like, I'm not really vibing with her on that one. I was like, what the heck? There's no way. But yeah, it's kind of ironic how she says you sacrificed your body, yet she was trying to gas him up to still fight, even though Ethan and Hilo were telling him, "Bro, don't do this anymore. It's not for you. You should just be behind the scenes."
We believed in what we were doing, and then to be greeted with pirating to the point where like we couldn't even pay back what we had like put on the table to put on the event.
Yeah.
Like was such a emotional gut punch that I feel like I'm never going to get over. Like the pirating, having websites up because people felt like we made the wrong decision pulling someone to make sure that like not only charities didn't get money but we lost money as like a punishment. But I do honestly wonder how many people who bought it the first year saw people tweeting and you know tweeting irresponsibly, to be honest, without all the information about.
Although I don't think people care enough about like the it maybe justifies in their mind a little bit more to do the pirating.
Yeah. The second year we decided to do the gala, which everybody complained about. Not everybody, but some people were like up their ass about us like doing the gala. We decided to do that this year because the first year everybody got punched in the head, and then the very next day everybody's getting on planes, and we had all these feelings that we hadn't processed.
The problem with the gala is that if they were going to complain about the event being in the red, it probably was not like the best idea to do it in the first place. I think they should have prioritized the charity and paying like the expenses rather than trying to do something to stroke their ego.
Second year, which by the way, we knew that we had lost money on the event, and we had to go to the gala.
Yeah.
We had to go there, and everyone, and I really wish I could take everybody that's listening to this and put them in my, like, you know, like SpongeBob had plankton in his, like, head? Like, I wish I could put all the viewers in my fucking head, and so they could see, like, we had...
Man, she's insane, I'm sorry.
Coming up and grabbing us and crying and telling us how important this was to them. We had fighters, we had friends of fighters, we had people coming up and saying, thank you so much for doing this for my partner. It has built their self-esteem in a way that I've never been able to, like...
Yeah.
We had so many people in this gala, like, so thankful. Everybody was laughing, everybody was dancing, there was karaoke. You had Dakota...
But she humiliates him all the time. She was even joking about, like, the IBS thing on Twitter.
He was performing. It was
I even tweeted at her, bro, don't feed the trolls, and that's exactly what she did. She fed the trolls. And look where they're on. Excuse me. And look where they are now.
But I'm glad that we did it because I think it was very important for people.
Like, it's basic common sense. Do not feed the trolls.
It was a hard lesson. As we can see, there's other circumstances that lead to that, like, idea suffering.
Yeah.
You know, pirating. Hate campaigns.
God, that was so bad.
Just drama in general.
That's the other thing. Dealing with, because like it's one thing to have like hate videos be made about you, but have hate videos be made about you while you're like spending $1 million+ on an event that you know can like be swayed by public opinion while training. Like those last 2 weeks when you were giving interviews and you didn't know like what was going to be online that day and like what were people saying and what was the like. I mean, it got to the point where like you couldn't even advertise on your own socials. Yeah. Even just for your own.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to fucking tweet anything. Yeah. These fuckers are gonna like just constantly like ream me over this decision that was very fucking justified.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with like the OnlyFans comment. Yeah, which still like.
Oh yeah, there's loads of like things that we can talk about. I feel like at this point it's like we're a year away from it now.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, there's still so much to that whole thing.
Yeah.
That people don't know. And I'm like, you know, I want to respect, you know, a lot of the people that we talk to. You know, coaches primarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were a lot of very justifiable reasons.
Yeah, including like not showing up to training.
Yes.
Like there were so many, and I think a lot of people banked on us being fair and not sharing everything.
Yeah, and that is exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. And I mean, you know, I don't know. I think if the one thing that I would change is like, I love our team and I love our PR team, but I think that was such a unique situation that the advice that we were getting, I think.
Yeah, and I want to trust the professionals, but there's certain situations where you're like, oh fuck, it looks like I'm the professional here.
I know.
Like, there's not a person who knows my channel and what we've been building better than me. This shit, like, fuck it makes me angry.
The accusations of us
really angry.
Stealing money makes me very angry. Yeah.
And I will say, like, this is one of these things.
Nah, they gotta do an audit on that, bro.
I would say, I haven't come across.
They should do an audit if they're really confident about that.
Involved has like stolen money or whatever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with the irresponsible type of like commentary videos and reporting, it's basically all like implied to the audience, and there's no amount of there's no amount of journalistic integrity to like take responsibility for like the message that you're spreading.
I know. Well, also there's like leaked DMs of their like conversations.
Planning it. Oh yeah, that whole like Keemstar shit. Yeah.
It's nasty.
Yeah, and it's all out there. I fucking recorded this this one person basically who was in one of these like tea rooms, like this DM group.
Tea room.
Yeah.
Tea is in like
right.
Tea. Yeah.
They were just scrolling through. It was like a 2 hour. I think it was like two 2 hours, a part 1 and a part 2, of them just scrolling through the DMs with Keemstar and Bowblax and all these people in their on their YouTube, and I was like, oh shit, this like they're just talking all the time.
No, I know.
And like plotting and shit. Like, what do you fucking
makes them feel good? I guess.
So insane. It's creepy.
It's creepy, and then it's also like I really don't get characters like that because they're also the ones who clip our podcast. You sit through an hour and a half of our podcast, and clip something just to like put it on your.
Bro, it's like so much yapping, and I thought I was a yapper. Holy crap!
Yeah, I would prefer that.
And like you don't have to watch it, bro. Like you just don't. So like, but it's they just have nothing else.
Yeah.
You know, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of the content. It's just part of the content. I mean,
that's like the definition of loser to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Someone who like occupies their time with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I think it wouldn't bother me if it was just like about us, but it affected the whole like their like narrative building that they clearly did together, like affected the landscape for everyone that was involved in Creator Clash.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people that like I think about the most innocent people involved, like our broadcasting team.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people understand this. We had to like have the FBI involved. The FBI was involved. We had the police, the Tampa Bay police were involved. We had to like track flight logs.
Tampa Bay police? Oh my god. Bro, actually when I filmed my short film, I actually had to pay to have the Miami police like watching over me. It was funny. Oh my god. I think that's the thing. They should have just like left the trolls, but I know Aniza, when she tries to plan things, she's really asking for the drama, if I were to be completely honest. I think, like I said, do not feed the trolls, and they feed the truth.
Was flying in, for...
I don't think Ethan should have attacked them either, because once you attack them and say, oh, I used all of you for money, and goodbye, it was like a bad look, and it just ended up looking like a mess afterwards.
We had many names on that list. There were like, 2 bomb threats. We had 2 bomb threats.
Oh my god.
FBI involved and all of this beforehand. We actually did a bunch of bomb sweeps with dogs during, before, after the event. It was insane.
Yeah, that way when the bomb threats like essentially come in, I think.
I was like cruising.
We cleared it ahead of time.
And
no one's come in and out, so it's kind of like it gives them a lot more confidence that these are just, swatting basically.
It's swatting, yeah. So like were we on it? We had the FBI and all that involved so early on that like, yeah, I don't know. It having to explain to like the production team and broadcasting team like what's going on and what not to look at because it's just so toxic.
Yeah. And it's just confusing for anyone who's living a normal ass life. Like, I don't expect any of these people to know what the hell's going on. Like, this shit's like confusing, and like when you come across it and you're not part of it, you're like, this shit's like creepy and weird. Like, am I in the right place?
I know, and we stepped on such a landmine that we did not know was a landmine at the time.
Yeah.
Bro, you should have never told your former fans what you told them. Once you told them, they will look at any way to get back at you.
There was a period where fucking like Brittany Venti was making videos about you.
Yeah.
And she just kept doing it until I think like it was one of those things where she could have theoretically continued to do it because you're a living person who interacts with the world.
Yeah.
But I think she stopped primarily because like people just didn't want to fucking see it. It's like, how much are you going to talk about this person?
Yeah, you gotta get tired eventually.
And I feel that way about the commentary people. Like it all like it's trendy for a while.
But it makes me mad because it's like the amount of steam that it has. You'd think that you like touched a child or something.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the people who get the amount of shit that
like
you get,
juicy.
Yeah, it's like Onision.
Right.
If you're not in an Onision. Like why? What the hell?
I mean, that you're right.
No, the main issue was that
when you were talking about like how your event got like the FBI involved and like there were bomb threats, and I was like, how did this all go so?
It was mostly them going after the fans. Like once you diss your fans, the people that made you the money and everything, be prepared for them raising hell. If you want to move away from a content, I completely understand, and I do understand iDubbbz. If he wanted to move away from the edgy content, it's called maturity, and being like an edgelord all the time, it will get boring all over time, just being like an edgelord all the time. So I think him trying to transition to like more of a mature direction could have worked, but I just think the edgelord persona he had is still ingrained in his identity. We never got to see like the actual iDubbbz.
Wrong, and I thought, oh yeah, Ian.
And it was crazy since he had his pretty aggressive stance like on girls with girls that have like a past like Anisa, to put it lightly. He was pretty aggressive on that, and now that Anisa ended up being the thing that iDubbbz used to not really be attracted to, it kind of makes you think like what really were people expecting, in all honesty. Speaking of which, Dennis, I know he said like a lot of things about like sex workers in general, but it seemed to be his type. He had like a fetish about it. And it didn't really line up because Raven would be like, oh, all sex workers deserve happiness and be in a happy relationship, but Dennis would be saying the opposite. He even had like this red flags for girls. It was insanity and contradictory. I never understood the dudes that are like, oh, I don't like sex workers, but they tend to go for those specifically. And it could be like people that are like red-pilled, incels as well. We could throw in like religious people as well. They're like, oh, that's sin. I don't like those type of people, but those like the type of people they kind of go after. I don't understand that psychology, to be honest.
Got a girlfriend.
Yeah,
that's like literally what happened.
Yeah,
and it evolved to that. Like, what the hell?
I know.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
You made nothing but responsible decisions.
Well, I mean, all responsible except, you know, fucking making a documentary about Sam Hyde.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like,
I think that...
Yeah, I mean, it just, like, kept...
You should have never made it, dude.
None of these fuckers have any good intentions, right? Like, every commentary YouTuber is just, like, grabbing this shit out of like a fucking like a pipeline. It's being fed to them in a very
and then they're like, this is fact,
deliberate way. Yeah,
dude, what the hell is he even talking about? The videos of mine that they are critiquing in this Patreon podcast are videos that you guys already saw as part of this big compilation that you're watching now of all my Creator Clash 2 coverage. And maybe I'm biased, maybe you guys disagree since you've seen the videos, but I just think Ian is straight up coping and using me as a scapegoat.
He's lying, yeah.
And I'm not the only one who thinks iDubbbz was
the
coping.
dude cannot
made a tweet reacting to the podcast
hold himself accountable for his actions.
Talking in your secret dungeon podcast, you were too cowardly to publicly broadcast, still coping and lying, saying the reason I was kicked out of your boxing event was because I didn't show up for training. Did that info come from the alcoholic boxing promoter your business partner set up as my coach, who couldn't find me someone to spar or was too scared to spar himself, that I was given permission to get rid of? The guy who was 1.5 hour drive one way, that was getting paid under the table, telling me not to let the gym owner know he was getting paid, because he was lying saying he was training me for free for a charity event? The guy who would cancel when I was in my car ready to drive 1.5 hours early as shit because he had diarrhea? Jesus fucking Christ, mate. Imagine doing a 1.5 hour podcast crying about your haters lying, a year later when no one fucking cares. P.S. Not all your haters are incels. Stop the cap. After paying $5 to listen to an hour and a half of complaining about haters, some ambiguous lawsuit stuff, lying about me, still coping about their personal monster that lives under the bed, I do feel bad for these two, seriously. I was mad at first, but now I'm just sad. They have some personal demons, even if they are mostly self-inflicted. Best of wishes to them. Just let them live in the delusional bubble that they are always victims, and everyone else is a sexless
yeah, they have like yes men around, that's the problem.
People who I really don't even believe are aware of their own levels of disrespect shown to others.
On one hand, I do understand when it comes to the incels, they are an issue as well. They kind of they may blow things out of proportion. I do understand that completely. But when it comes to like valid criticism where they kind of nitpick things that they don't really like, and specifically on some people, I think that's when it becomes a problem, because they don't have the same energy for everybody else that might do the same. I never understood that, really.
And someone who can't stand not being the smartest person in the room. Good night. Carlos Rangel responds to Froggy by saying, dude, you were at the gym like it was a job, sparring twice a week with experienced amateurs. Froggy quote tweets him and says, my real coach, a great man who has dedicated his entire life to the sport of boxing and taught me so much in life and in sport. My real trainer, Coach Carlos, knows I was always there on time for every practice and could actually get me legit sparring partners and was ready to corner me. Talk to him, not the salty boy your partner is bros with that was mad he got the boot. Robin Suda responds to Froggy by saying, didn't they replace you with a guy that only had 2 weeks to train? Froggy responds, yup. Bato Linguini says, iDubbbz still talking about destroying their own show? Jeez, responds, Froggy responds, what else is there to talk about? Intel CPU says, crazy that Ian is so bad at lying. If this was the truth, he would have
Ian should just zone up, dude. Like, honest to God.
Froggy responds, right. It would have went over much better with the public over the real reason, but it wasn't true. So
I don't know why he keeps on
even though I know he'd already been gossiping with the trainer, who he allowed me to
doing mental
gymnastics.
Neither of them ever spoke a word to my having yes men around is never a good idea.
By saying, watching these people drag you through the mud and imply you were a Nazi, say you stole money from charity, and label you a
oh, they said the word.
The most frustrating things I've ever witnessed. Froggy responds, thank you. It was frustrating for me as well, and I can't believe they still.
Personally, I think I know it's gonna sound like a hot take, but what I found out like about Sam Hyde, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to be that associated with him because yeah, if you actually like a lot of the connections he had and what he was doing, it's a bit sus. I'm not gonna lie. And I know Doja Cat of all people, she had the freaking shirt of Sam Hyde, but I think when humor gets to that point, I'm like, okay, you guys are kind of taking it too far. That's just me. But I think business-wise, it's probably not a good idea to be that associated with Sam Hyde.
That can be fact-checked. They don't even believe that bullshit themselves. Into the Fart Side responds to Froggy by saying, crazy how wasn't it Harley who publicly said it was because of the OnlyFans comments, and he knew 100% for a fact? Froggy responds, just when I start to feel bad for this fucking guy and his wife, they start lying about shit that they both know is verifiably false with receipts.
Yeah, it definitely is false.
That they never even talked to Coach Carlos after giving me permission to switch to him as my official coach. It's like they are lying to themselves and a handful of people thinking I'll never hear this BS. And that's about it for the entire story of Creator Clash 2.
Man.
As for this new stuff, obviously a lot of stuff was directed at me specifically, and I will be giving my opinion on all of that on my second channel, Mayo Monkey, where I post more opinionated content. So if you want to check out that channel, I highly recommend you do. I've been spending a lot of time making content on there.
Jeez, man. I guess we could look at the Nicholas DeOrio one. Look at a bit of it. Yeah, this was like the one from yesterday.
Amazon is overcharging you, but I can show you how to avoid it. Don't spend another dime on Amazon.
Paying a bit more attention to how much money they made.
Fuck.
Humiliation fetish, maybe.
So, I'm on the last bog, and man, we got a lot of comments on the last bog.
Really?
Yeah, we got like 20.
We're
comments.
gaining a sizable audience. You know, eventually there's going to be comments that you can't even read anymore.
Whoa,
These don't have enough time.
crazy. That's my dream.
All right, Kevin S says, thanks for the shout-outs. Y'all are keeping me going through this new job. Y'all's healthy relationships makes me appreciate mine with my fiance. Always just happy to be bogging it up with y'all and the other bogledites.
That's so sweet.
What the fuck is this show? Like, what is that what it's called? The Bog? That's a horrible name for a podcast.
Fucking love when people are commenting and just talking about, you know, even just being in a relationship, because it's so for me it's so counter, I would say, to the hate comments.
Yeah.
Because it feels like a real human being. It's so hard when you see the hate comments because they're so focused. It's like what is it called when you're like essentially diverting everyone's attention, or you're nervous or uncomfortable in your own skin. So
man, what happened, dude? What fucking?
No, I mean part of it is true in terms like of incel culture, because I know it's a hot take, like I said, but some of them still have an issue with that. I don't think it should really. But a lot of people do, and they're just digging like a hole for themselves in that.
What happened to this guy? Dude, I hate it. It's been like years. I'm so tired of the whole like, dude, Ian sucks now. Ian's a loser.
Bro, Ian should just be like...
It's probably, it's the same thing that like would drive me crazy when I was watching the beginning of King of Nothing's video. I get why people bring it up.
He should just be honest with himself. Like, please.
Like, oh my god, it's such a tired bullshit topic. But when I hear him talk, it's like, ugh. You just want to bully him. Fuck, dude.
You're like, oh, let's talk about this fucking power adapter right here.
No,
what is that has a name.
That does have a name. Not triangulating.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, there's a word for it.
Attention.
Dane, do you know the word?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dane's a lexicon. He's a literary legend.
Dane's illiterate.
I'm stupid.
But basically, it just feels like a lot of the hate comments are people like that, where they're just kind of, you know.
It's all about you.
It's all about something.
Dude, it's like nobody ever taught this guy not to address specific hate comments. Like, I literally think like the only thing that can make this worse is if he opens up his Kiwi Farms page on stream and just starts replying to each individual person. I feel like that's the only way that you can make this any less self-aware.
It's all about you or all about me, or...
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah. See, it's usually like, you know...
Yeah.
Save yourself! Yeah. Or like, shut up, bitch, this bitch is so stupid and horrible and is ruining everyone's lives.
That would be so much better if that was the average comment.
Yeah, it would be very funny.
Yeah.
The thing about like having somebody comment who immediately confirms that they're in a relationship, I think maybe that signals to you immediately that they're not an incel, which are like the majority of the people who are leaving hate comments, they definitely don't have a relationship.
Yeah, it's just so fucking. It just sounds like such crazy code from Dan too.
That way.
This is literally just worse Dan on H3 podcast.
There's absolutely no way that any of these people have girlfriends or wives.
No,
Right.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's just like there's so,
Dude, all these guys are cringe losers. Yeah, that's a really good point, Dan, too. I honestly, that's such a good point.
yeah, and just I guess for the people who are single, like there's a few different ways that you can take our relationship and our dynamic.
Oh my God,
like,
bro, this ROM is insane.
The postman.
Oh my God, that's
Freaking queso makes the whole world shake.
I don't know if you could hear that, Dane, but like there was stomping going on right above us, and I thought like somebody was like letting us know that they're in our house.
Hey,
I'm
wait,
here.
Yeah, that's fucking freaky.
Sorry, you were saying there's different ways you could look at our relationship.
Yeah, if you're single, it's like if you have any amount of like insecurity or maybe even you were.
Oh man, I thought it was gonna make like a
against
big
me
splash.
Just being
I
the
guess
single
not.
bachelor guy online and.
Dude, okay, bro. No, bro. Time out. Who the fuck watched the end and went, damn, bro, that's one crazy single bachelor? Can somebody tell me who here has ever looked at
No, I think
watch content cop and went, dude, look at this eligible bachelor?
I don't think people really saw Ian as I think they just saw him like as a relatable outsider, outcast, edgelord. I think that had like a lot of good points back then. I think that's what attracted him to a lot of people, but I don't think he could really read the room, truthfully. Oh my God, the screen is getting me disoriented. But yeah, what else is there to say about that? Honestly, it would be better just for them to kind of own up, be honest with themselves. I don't think they could really process that yet. Because I think people trying to go through their own ego is like a struggle in itself. Like we already saw that with like Dennis. Recently, Illuminati as well. Illuminati has been MIA. And ego just makes people act different. I think if they were just like upfront and transparent, like it should make things much more better for them, but I don't think they're able to. I don't think they're capable of understanding that, because narcissism is really crazy. Or when you have like yes men around saying it's not you, it's them, that just becomes a problem in itself. But yeah, I think that'll be it for tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to be going to Miami, so that should be interesting. I'll update you guys on that trip. Other than that,